a nice savings account. And at the end of the day, yeah, maybe you're gonna miss 1 or 2 years, but probably gonna waste those years anyway, partying, doing dumb crap. So that's one half of the advice. And then the other stuff is like, give it a shot on simulator. And then if it connects, man, just like that, you have a career for forever.
What's up, guys? What's up, girls? Trading Farmer with another video you're going to enjoy. Today we are talking with Marcelo of Mighty Stocks. He's a great trader, he's a Warrior Pro student, and most of all, he's profitable. He has some great stuff to say today. You're going to want to listen to all of it. So don't skip, don't fast forward, listen to all of it. We have a long weekend to prepare for Tuesday. Let this be a part of your study materials. So with that said, guys, enjoy this interview with Marcelo.
Thank you, Marcelo, for joining me this morning.
Yes, sir, man. Pleasure to meet you.
Glad to have you on the Trader Talk Show. Just gonna run through some questions, just like we did with Relentless. But first and foremost, we want to know a little bit about Marcelo, the Mighty Stock Trader. Where are you from? Because I don't think you're from America or Canada, are you?
No. I am actually from El Salvador. It's a very small country that's in Central America, just underneath Mexico, for those that are not familiar.
So it's kind of by Mexico.
Yeah, I don't know if you know where Guatemala is, right next to it. Honduras,
yeah. So it's
Costa
right
Rica.
there. Yeah, it's kind of in between Mexico or America and South America.
Yeah,
right?
it's right in between. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So what's the deal?
I'm from there.
So what's the deal? You moved from there and you didn't like it there and you moved to Canada or what's the story?
I was born and raised in El Salvador. My first language is Spanish, obviously. But then I was born and raised there, but the economy back there is not great. It's a third world country, and that's the country that minimum wage is $200 a month. So that's like bottom of the barrel type country. And my parents knew that, and they did the best they could in order to send me away from the country, in order to send me to another better place so that I can have a better future on. And that place just happened to be Canada. So I came here 2017 to get my finance degree. And I've been here for 4 years now. I'm not a Canadian resident. I just got here for my degree, and I've been just hanging out and working. But yeah, when I came here, I was getting into finance. I was learning about the stocks, about evaluating companies and all this. But I also had a little bit of a gambling addiction. I was very into poker, to the point that I was literally going to casinos in real life and losing my money there like a maniac. But then it's funny. YouTube did its thing, how the YouTube algorithm works. And my YouTube feed was flooded with poker stuff, but at the same time, it was flooded with, stocks, because I was learning a lot on my university. And then day trading popped up. So I guess the algorithm combined both of them. Day trading popped up. And, I always been kind of like a hustler, trying to see what was my calling in life. I was the type of guy that I was okay at everything, but not very good at anything. I was okay at all the sports, but not very good at just one. So I throughout my life, I always was looking for that thing that I wanted to really be super good at. And when I first encountered that trading, I'm like, all right, let's give it a shot. I kind of like got addicted to it. And 3 years later, here we are.
Yeah, so that was my question, was where did you hear about day trading? So I'm guessing YouTube algorithm, you were into poker, you had a gambling addiction that you
yeah.
No shame in admitting to it. So YouTube. And so what's the story? You are a Warrior Pro student. Did you fall on Warrior Pro right away, or
no?
What's the story on that?
So at first, I started to trade large caps. I was trading like Netflix every day, Apple every day. And then the first YouTuber I started to learn from was Ricky. And back in the day, he was very into trading U gas and B gas. There was this like reverse ETFs.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah, so I started trading with that in Robinhood. And I thought that I had discovered the glitch to the matrix, knowing that the fact that there were reverse ETFs, and if a stock was going up, the other one was going down. I thought that was the answer to everything. So then I started traded that for like, I don't know, a few months, a year. Obviously didn't see any success. And by at that time I was trading with like maybe a $2,000 account on Robinhood. So my P&L was moving up $10, down $10. It wasn't a big deal. So I tried that for a couple of months, a year, and then I kind of like gave up on it. But then I encountered Ross. At the beginning I wasn't really into penny stocks because Ricky doesn't like them. he always talks trash about him, and I'm like, okay, I'm a Ricky fanboy, so whatever he says goes. I'm like, no penny stocks. But when I gave up on that, I'm like, all right, before giving up, let me see what the hell is going on here with small caps. And then if you start digging into small caps, the big guy is Ross, obviously, or maybe Team Sykes if you're older. Um, anyways, I started trading like Ross. I started watching his YouTube videos and everything. And then COVID hit, and COVID was the reason why I jumped in the course, because I was already paying like $3,000 for my university courses, and they were online courses. And I'm like, I'm paying all this money for stuff that I'm going to forget after the final exam anyway. I might as well give it a shot this course and see if it's worth it. So I joined the course. Not saying that the course is like the magic pill either. It's just, just more content about the market, more education about level 2 and stuff like that. Definitely good, but it's not the magic wand. Took the course, struggled for another year, dropped out of the course, struggled for another year by myself, and then I finally was able to turn things around. And here, scalping, small caps, breakouts, 5-day breakouts, stuff like that.
Right. So you would say that you learned your strategy mostly from Warrior Trading. Like you've learned a lot from him, right?
Yeah.
Is it worth the money for the most part?
Man,
for the most part.
That's a tricky question, but you know what? I'm going to say yes. I think it is. It's not the answer to your day trading mistakes. It's not the answer to profitability, but it's a good course, and that's a lot of education. So if you take advantage of it and you see every single video in there, I think it might be worth your money.
Gotcha. Because that was my question, because I didn't have the money. I mean, I had money, but I was like, I need that money to trade with and to live on. So it's like I wanted to maybe buy a course. I'm not just saying Warrior Tradings, but there's other courses. I mean, Ricky had his, and I wasn't a big fan of Ricky. But I was like, maybe I should get with Ricky. Then Tim Sykes. I was looking at Tim Sykes for a little bit, but he seemed a little sketchy. So I did, and I saw Warrior Trading. And I'm like, that's a little too much money for what I can afford. So
yeah,
I never ended up doing the course, but I still think that for some people, it's not a bad option. So while you're doing this Warrior Trading, while you're doing all this learning, I mean, did you have any doubters? Were your parents like calling you an idiot, or was it like, go for it?
Yeah, it's funny. My mom always believed in me, but she didn't believe in day trading. It's like, I don't know if this day trading thing is going to work. Maybe it's going to be a good learning lesson for your future. Once you fail, maybe once you fail, maybe you're going to have a big learning lesson and get better at something else. My dad was not a fan of it. Even right now, I'm like, Dad, yeah, it's like, Dad, I made $2,000 in a day. He's like, good. Now get back to school and get a better job. I'm like,
really? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe he's jealous.
I think what he doesn't like is the instability. It's like,
yeah.
So he obviously just wants the best for me. He wants me to have a job in which I can rely on day by day, month by month, paycheck by paycheck. But I understand. I guess they're like all there, so it is what it is.
Well, they may just not understand. I mean, day trading is somewhat stable. Not in the day to day. You're gonna have red days. You're gonna have green days. But to have a consistently profitable strategy is not impossible. In fact, I mean, you have one. I mean, you were green in August. Like, how much did you make in August?
35K.
So $35,000 in a month, and your dad is still
still
questioning it.
Hopefully, once a millionaire, he'd be like, okay, maybe you're right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So was there ever a point that you wanted to give up? Because it was like, what, 2-3 years for you? Did you ever want to give up, or was it like you're going all the way?
Oh man, for sure. I wanted to give up so many times. I literally have videos. I always in the back of my mind had this idea that I want to be a YouTuber. So I always been into recording my stuff. I always been into recording myself and stuff. So I have like 3 videos of me just melting, crying, giving up. Like, I don't know what to do. This is not working. Like after a big red trade, I would just turn the camera on and you would see me like with long COVID hair, stuff like that, just tearing up. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. But then at the end of each video, I would like, compose myself, go back and stare directly to that camera and be like, all right, you watch me. I'll stand again one more time. I'll give it another try and you watch me win. So at the end of each video, I kind of like recouped myself and gave it another shot.
So did you have like a major turning point in your career? Like something just clicked one day or what, or was it a gradual?
No, something clicks for sure. I like to think of myself as a flat top breakout that, because I became a break-even trader for like almost a year and I was going sideways for a full year. But when when that thing finally clicked, I was able to like turn things around and start making a lot of profit very quickly. And that thing was taking the profit as soon as I got it, because I was always taught that I needed to hold for the bigger move. I needed to scale out my positions, blah blah blah. And what was happening to me is that almost on 70% of my trades, I would get green at least 4 to 5 cents every time the moment I bought. But because I was thinking, oh, that's not enough. I need to hold for 10 cents. Okay, maybe let me sell half and hold the rest to break even. What was happening to me is that I was selling half for 5 cents of profit, let's say, and then more often than not, 99% of the time, I was selling the other half for break even, meaning that I was only gaining 50% of my winners, but then on the losers, I was losing the entire thing. And I'm like, you know what? What if I just take these 5 cents out of the trade every single time I had them? No scaling out, no holding for targets, no holding for arbitrary price targets, high of day, whatever it is. The moment you're in a scalp, take the profit, whatever it is, 5, 10, 1 cent, just take it, because at the end of the day, you need to take whatever the market is giving you. And if the breakout is small, we'll take it. So when I started doing that, I would say that that's when things finally clicked, and I started to become a better trader.
Right. And I think that's a lot of beginner traders struggle with, taking profits when they have it, and instead of trying to hold it and hold it and hold it, or because not every pattern works, but even if there's a pattern there, you'll at least get a little bit of momentum in your favor.
Yeah, exactly.
So even if it doesn't break high day, even if it doesn't break resistance, you can still catch that move towards that resistance level or towards that pivot and lock in that profit.
And I see so many people that have price targets, high day or to the next half and whole dollar level, stuff like that. And the stock moves in their direction for the most part. They don't reach that target for a couple pennies, and then they wouldn't take any off the table. And I was one of those persons. And I'm like, you know what? The market's never going to give me what I want, but I need to take whatever it gives. So now whatever the move is, I'm just selling.
Yeah, I think that's gold. So if you guys are struggling to be profitable, listen to what Marcelo is saying here. Take that profit when you have it.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you have any tips? And I asked Relentless this too. Do you have any tips to deal with emotions other than like, lighting up a blunt or doing, any healthy ways that you manage the emotions? Because they're real.
Yeah, for sure they're real. Man, I don't know. I was very bad with emotions. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but I traded in the simulator for almost a year. And even in the simulator, I was so emotional. Even in the sim trades, my heart was pumping in my throat every single time, every single trade. So, for me, the emotions has been very hard. What I did though is read a lot about trading psychology, a couple of books where Trade Mindfully, Trading in the Zone, and Trade the Trader. And when you start to understand what's the psychology behind the trades, which is at the end of the day, your brain is just trying to protect you from feeling the pain of losing. And your brain, by doing so, literally blocks you from important data that you may perceive as harmful. For example, you may weigh positive data. You may give more weight to positive data in a trade so that you don't have to cut it for a loser, so that you don't have to stop out. And your brain is literally doing this so that you don't have to feel the pain of losing. And at the end of the day, when you come back to the charts, hindsight, whatever it is, you're gonna realize, why didn't I cut it there? That's an obvious sign of a reversal. Why didn't I cut it there? That's an obvious sign of a false breakout. It's because in the moment your brain is blinding you so that you don't cut the trade, because cutting the trade for a loser, it's gonna be painful. So reading about trading psychology helped, and also just trying to prove my brain wrong, because we're not wired to be day traders. So you just need to take the trades whenever you see them. And even if your brain is screaming at you, no, don't do it, it's gonna be a loser, you have to go for it anyway. And once you start getting winning trades in those moments that your brain is telling you that's gonna be a loser, that's when your wiring in the brain is gonna start to change. You're gonna be like, okay, maybe we don't know everything. Maybe there's gonna be random outcomes all the time here in day trading. And little by little, forcing trade by trade, kind of like your brain is just gonna fix itself. That's what happened to me. I was just forcing trades that I thought it was gonna be were going to be losers, but at the end of the day they weren't. And then my brain was like, okay, we don't know everything. Let's adapt to this market psychology thing.
So you pressed into the education side of trading, for dealing with emotions. When you had a loss, you hit the books in a sense and started studying and learning what you did wrong.
Exactly. I would say that's what helped.
I think that's definitely a healthy way, because it's like sometimes and even today, it's like I finished up, nice green. A lot of people would be happy with that, but I still wiped $1,500 off the top. And it's like, for some reason I'm finding myself to be angry and disappointed, and like I don't want to. It's not like a red day, so it's not like I'm gonna mope around all day, but it's like sometimes I just don't want to do anything when I'm emotional from trading. It's like, but pressing into that education, learning what you did wrong, I think, and Relentless talked about that too, like sticking with
Yeah.
your routine and going back and looking at your trades and reviewing them
You know
helps.
what it is? Another thing that I learned is that financial loss triggers your fight or flight. So whenever we lose big, we are, just like that, we are Neanderthals and we're angry. We just want to run and we just want to punch. And it's like, it's just our survival mechanisms kicking in. So, it's something that we got to get used to it. I think it's never going to go away. You're always going to feel pain whenever we trade. You just gotta understand and think over your emotions. It's like, yeah, right now I'm recognizing that I feel like crap, but rules are here that are going to prevent me from doing something stupid. I know that this feeling is gonna go away. So you just gotta survive the next hour, the next 5 hours, the next day, and then you're just gonna brush it off eventually.
Another thing that kind of goes with the emotions is, and I'm guilty of this too. I mean, do you struggle with comparing yourself to other traders?
Oh man, for sure. I mean, when I'm trading in the morning, I can't have the chat room up. I can't have your stream up. I can't have our T stream up because the moment I see you guys up 1,000, up 2,000, and I'm here like fumbling every trade, I get so emotional. And the moment I get emotional, I start trading my P&L, and just like that, the day's over. So the best way for me to compete against even you guys is for me to compete against myself, because only if I'm getting better, that's the only way I can ever get to the level, the big traders like you are. So I can't see anyone. I can't see Ross, none of that. It's just the scanners and me while I'm trading. And then after that, I can see recaps. And after I can compare myself because, I'm not trading. So even if I get mad or whatever, I won't go 4 straights in the moment. And then by the next day, I don't have FOMO of the previous day. I'm just, again, excited to be dialed in just by myself, trading alone, you know. So yeah,
Right.
I definitely compare myself so I can't see P&Ls while I'm trading. It triggers me too much.
Yeah, I had to leave Relentless's Discord just because I found myself going in there like checking. I'd take like a loss and be like, all right, I gotta go see how Crispy's doing. I gotta go see how whoever's doing. I'm like constantly, and I had to leave because I was like, this is not healthy. Like this is affecting my trading.
Yeah, I don't leave, but I don't scroll down. So I have like just like the watch list, a couple of comments in the morning, like the good mornings, and then I don't scroll down until I'm done trading. But yeah, for sure.
I know
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
can.
like it's like they always talked about when you're like racing somebody to not look at the person you're racing while you're racing because it's just going to slow you up. And I think that is so similar to trading. Like you just need to stay in your lane and focus on running your race.
Hmm.
Because the
Exactly.
minute the minute you start looking at your competitors, you're going to lose your edge.
And even for the people that are not profitable, you can't compare yourself to a profitable trader. There's such in a different league than you. You need to be comparing yourself just to you, just to the person, just from the you from yesterday. If you're doing a little bit better from the guy than yesterday, that's the best and quickest route for you to get to profitability and for you to get to our level. It's just to compete against you and get better every single day. You against you every day.
You against you. I think that's gold. So um I have two questions here. Well, we have a couple more, but uh do you have and I'm sure you do. Do you have family and friends that approach you and want to learn to trade and are like nagging you?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm ready. I'm very brutal with them. I'm very, very truthful. I'm like, I see my brother, he comes to me and asks me how to trade. Yes, you have the potential. So I can teach you, but you have to fall in love with it. I mean, I'm gonna help you along the way, but you need to fall in love with it in order to make it work. My brother, young guy, good with computers, has a full career in front of him, has a lot of free time for him to learn. So I'm like, okay, I can give you a shot. I'm willing to teach you. My mom comes and asks me, hey, teach me how to trade. I don't want to make 1,000 a day. I want to make 50 a day. I'm like, mom, I'm gonna give you that for free. But learning right now is like she has a full-time job. No, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just tricky when a lot of people ask me because they think like, oh, you have a secret sauce that you don't want to share with me. That's not the truth. It's like I just think that you probably won't make it. I just want to make you go through that roller coaster. Um, but yeah, that's tricky. Does that happen to you?
Right. Yeah. Almost exactly the same story. Like my brothers came to me. I have two of them. One gave it a shot, but he gave it like 2 or 3 weeks. And I tried to explain to him, hey, it's going to take like a year or two. There's no fast pass to doing this. And so
Yeah.
he ended up quitting. I had another brother who wanted to learn, and I told him, "Hey, you're going to be in a simulator for a long time." Well, he started using real money real quick. He lost 2 grand, and so
Yep.
he's finally going back small size. But I said the same thing. You have to fall in love with it. There's no secret sauce that I can and give you.
Yeah.
And even early on, and I was brutal with my mom too. My mom asked me, "Oh, can you teach me? Can you teach me?" But I was like brutal. I was like, I was thinking about. I was like, I mean, maybe you could, but first of all, you have a job. You're not going to have time to trade, and this is like it's almost like a video game. You have to have fast reaction speed,
Hmm.
and plus the roller coaster. I mean, it just consumes your life. This whole day trading thing just consumes your life in a way with all these ups and downs you have to go through. So I was like, you know what, mom, I don't even think you should lose any sleep over this because I honestly don't think it's for you.
Right. Yep. I feel the exact same way. Especially, I don't know. Because at the end of the day, they think that just by they trying to make $50 a day, it's gonna be so much more easier than trying to make 1,000 a day. But the reality is that the hard part is becoming consistent. Like making $10 a day versus 1,000 a day is just as hard. So
Right. The consistency to be consistently profitable is
yeah.
the amount of money. It does get harder as you size up. There is that because you can't just go from 1,000 shares to 100,000 shares. It's pretty
What
much impossible for small caps. But
what I like to take people though, like kind of like friends that come up to me and ask me, I'm like, I can't teach you. I don't even know where to start, but I can guide you through the right direction. And I'm always going to be an open book for you. If you come for me with any type of questions while you do it on your own, while you start it on your own, I'm always going to be here for you to try to answer those questions. That I think that's fair because you're helping, but you're not the ones doing everything. It's like if you go
right.
work, I can answer any questions you have.
Well, you can't. There's not like you can like give them the secret. I think that's
Right.
like you said. People think there's a secret, so I'm just like you, brutal. Like, hey, yeah, but I'll teach you, but it's still going to be about 1 to 2 years of learning.
Hmm. Yep.
So, next question is, and I don't know if this is a good question, but what's your favorite broker? Because I know you switched to Lightspeed and you have TD Ameritrade. Are you still using Lightspeed? Is Lightspeed good?
I use Lightspeed right now. I have Lightspeed and Ethereum Ameritrade. Lightspeed I use it to trade the first 3 minutes of the open because I just had too many times in which I can't trade the first minute of the open. Let's say like a classic gap and go at the open, a leading gapper is flagging, and then the first 1 minute of the open just surges. That's a trade I used to trade a lot in the simulator, and it was actually one of the setups that make me break even. That's one of the few setups I was actually good at. And I couldn't trade that with TD, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open Lightspeed. I'm not gonna trade the exact same way I trade on TD because the commission is gonna eat me alive. But for like 3 trades every morning, commissions no problem. So then with Lightspeed, I'm trading the first minute of the open, kind of like that quick surge, because on TD, the first 3 minutes of the opens are for you to be testing share size and testing if you're going to be able to trade that day. So I don't want to be doing all that. So Lightspeed first couple of trades in the morning, 1 or 2 minutes, and then I switch to the TD Ameritrade to take for the rest of the day and take advantage of free commissions.
So are you gonna stick with Lightspeed going forward? It's working out pretty well.
Yeah, in that way, yeah, I wouldn't just trade in Lightspeed. Commissions are too expensive, but just to trade like once or twice a day, the first 1 minute of the open, yeah, I'm one of the TD.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And do you do pre-market trading at all, or no?
No, honestly, I don't. Um, because I also live in the Pacific Standard Time, and that would require me to wake up too early. And also because I've never been super profitable pre-market anyway. I'm sure I could make money, but that's the money I would make is nothing compared to how much I would make in the open. And then on top of that, I will be required to be waking up at 4 a.m. So just a bunch of things that don't make it worth it.
Right. That's sort of the same story for me too.
Yeah.
Just too early and not enough volume. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
there's money to be made, but it's like it's a little different. It's a little bit of a different playing field.
And also, I think if I come into the open with the mentality, because you have to adjust your mentality on how you perceive stocks pre-market, and I don't want that like mentality of slower moving, slower breakouts, slower fake outs to translate into my, open trading. So I just leave it alone.
So, two more questions. These are sort of the closing questions. Are you happy? And I asked Relentless too, and I sort of have a feeling I know your answer. But are you happy where you're at now? What's your future goals?
Am I happy? No, you know what? Right now, I'm gunning that $1 million mark because I feel like with $1 million invested in I don't know, the S&P 500 or like in the overall market, I don't know if you've heard about this rule, the 4% rule that you can withdraw money every year, 4% for forever, technically, theoretically. So with $1 million, I could withdraw 3,000 a month forever without never touching the initial capital. And I know that 3,000 a month doesn't sound that fancy. You can't really have a fancy lifestyle with that, but I would think that that's enough for me to never have to work again. Because even though it might seem crazy, I still feel like day trading may go away one day. I don't know, a regulation of the government, no more day trading. I don't know.
Oh, I hope not.
I'm always fearful. So I feel like right now, while it's working, while I'm ahead, I wanna get to that 1 million, invest it, and now I'm forever set, kind of like retired. Day trading can go away. I don't care. So that's kind of like the goal right now. But obviously, the goal is to be the best trader I can and maybe be a 7-figure trader one day.
Right. So would you miss day trading, or do you just, yeah, do you not like day trading as much, or would you want to, do you see yourself doing day trading as long as possible, or do you want to
I,
quit sometime?
I see myself doing it as long as I can, because once you're rich, it kind of feels like you've completed the game, and day trading would allow me to continue to push boundaries and continue to work towards something. So I don't know, it's fun. So yeah, I think I will continue. Maybe not as much, maybe not as intensively like I am right now. Like right now, I eat, breathe, sleep day trading. Maybe once over to the other side, I'm gonna take it a little bit slower. But yeah, I think I would. It's pretty fun, so why not?
Yeah, same for me. It's like it is. There's a lot of ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I love trading, and there's nothing
Hmm.
else I'd rather be doing early in the morning than to be trading. Even though it gets crappy, I mean, it's just and you know what I'm talking about. I mean, some days it's just like your whole day is ruined, and sometimes you get stuck in a rut for like a week straight, and you're just like the whole week just sucks. But I always come back.
Yep.
I
Yep.
love trading. So final question.
Hmm.
What advice do you have for beginner traders or those who are skeptical of trading? Do you have any uh, words of advice?
I usually give this advice out. I would say if you're a beginner trader and you don't know what you're doing, trade in a simulator, but at the same time, save up money. So because the goal is going to be that you can build up a 25K account and trade over PDT in a free commission broker. And I would say the scenarios are pretty good because first scenario, day trading is not for you. Things doesn't things don't go well. It's like, okay, you're gonna learn a lot about the markets. You're gonna be more experienced into when it comes to your like long-term investment, retirement investments, and everything like that. At the end of the day, day trading doesn't work. It is what it is, but you're not gonna lose money. And on top of that, you're gonna have built a very nice savings account. Maybe in your journey while you were trading in the simulator and saving money, you can save up to 10, 15K. And just like that, after the journey, it fails, whatever. You are more experienced about the market and you have a nice savings account. And at the end of the day, yeah, maybe you're gonna miss 1 or 2 years, but probably gonna waste those years anyway, partying, doing dumb crap. So that's one half of the advice. And then the other stuff is like give it a shot on simulator. And then if it connects, man, just like that, you have a career for forever.